What's up, guys? I hope you guys are doing really good. Uh, all right, so the title for today is uh, Fluent English is not about knowing more words. Yes, I think it's a big misconception, most of the people, and I also used to think the same way. I won't exclude myself because I am also a learner. It's just that, I have improved a bit. Uh, I come from a background or a level where I couldn't speak even a single sentence properly, right? Most of you guys already know if you have gone through many videos of my channel. So I also used to think like, if somebody has a good vocabulary and somebody knows so many words, then only they can speak a language fluently. But that's not the case. Knowing a lot of words, it definitely increases your vocabulary, but knowing more words has very less to do with English fluency, because English fluency has more to do with how many English phrases we know, right? So there is a difference between phrases and words. Words basically means, let me give you an example. So whatever your native language is, like, my native language is Hindi. I hope, I'm just assuming most of you guys must be having Hindi as your first language or any of your regional languages. Let me talk to the Hindi speaking guys for now. Or guys means, of course, the guys and girls, everybody included. Everybody included. See, the Hindi we speak it fluently, and we have been speaking it for years, and not just years, couple of decades at least. But still, there are so many words in Hindi language which we are not even aware of, which we have not even heard of, maybe, right? Forget about knowing the meaning of those words. We don't even know those words, right? You might find a lot of Hindi speakers or good Hindi speakers using a lot of heavy Hindi words that we don't have any idea of. And if I truly talk about our Hindi is a quite a mixture of a language. We don't use each and every single word of Hindi. We include some English words, we include some Urdu words as well, some maybe Punjabi words, or maybe some words from any other languages. Majority is Hindi, definitely, but it's a mixture of a language, where multiple other languages are also included. If somebody asks us to speak fluent Hindi, absolutely fluent Hindi, it will be extremely difficult for most of us Hindi language speakers, who have got Hindi as their first language. It will be extremely difficult for us to speak fluent Hindi, right? Because now it requires a lot of Hindi words which we are not aware of. And even people who are not using any other words of any other language, or using very less of it, you'll find a lot of people who don't possess a very good vocabulary, as it is called Shabd Kosh in Hindi. Vocabulary is Shabd Kosh in Hindi, who have not got a good Shabd Kosh, still they speak fluent Hindi, right? So knowing a lot of words of English language can make us fluent in English is a misconception. It definitely enhances the language. I'm not denying that fact. But I know a lot of people, who have got a great vocabulary, but still they can't speak at a stretch for 2 to 3 minutes even, right? They can't speak for 2 to 3 minutes at a single stretch. I know a lot of people, and you might have also come across certain kind of people, who who can pinpoint a lot of grammatical mistakes in your English and say like, oh, it should not be has, it should be have, it should be do and not does, or it should be does or not do, and whatever. But they themselves can't speak even for 2 to 3 minutes at a single stretch in one attempt, in one go, right? So they know grammar, right? Their grammar may be way better than yours. The understanding of grammar can be way better than yours. Their vocabulary can be way better than yours, but they're not able to speak the language. Why? Because they have not practiced speaking language. And grammar and vocabulary both have very less to do with language fluency. They definitely help, I'm not denying that fact. If somebody doesn't know English at all and is starting from absolute scratch, then of course they will have to go through some basic grammar in order to at least start understanding how to frame sentences and what does what mean in English, definitely. But if somebody has already got some level of English where some words and a bit of grammar, you can frame some sentences even with the help of translation. So for you guys, speaking is the main issue. We guys don't speak much, and this is why we have not become habitual, and we are not used to of this language. We are not habitual of this language, right? So no matter how great your vocabulary becomes, if you don't practice speaking, if you don't start speaking the language, you can never get fluent. Of course, fluence vocabulary helps in fluency. I'm not denying that fact. The more words you know, the more words you will be able to include in your speech, or at that whenever you speak a language, you can definitely include more and more number of words because your vocabulary is good. If your grammar is good, definitely you can structure out sentences in a much better way. Your sentence structure will be way more appropriate, and you, your language will basically be very flexible, and you'll be able to talk about many things in a more structured and more appropriate way. Definitely it helps. But as I repeat, and as I've already mentioned in many of my videos, that grammar and vocabulary, uh, they can definitely be ignored if you have already got some sort of understanding of English, some understanding. Your speaking is not there, I understand, but if you have got some basic knowledge of sentence structure, basic knowledge of grammar, and some words of English language, you can definitely speak the language without focusing much on grammar and vocabulary anymore. The only thing that you need is speaking practice. Just start speaking, speak as much as you can. uh, i speak I speak for maybe 15 or 20 minutes in a day only, because I don't get any opportunities to speak in this language, and I often feel like I'm speaking very less, because the more I'll speak, the better I'll become. The language environment is extremely important. I try to create an environment around me. The books that I read or the content that I read on internet, it is always in English only. I try to consume, I try to listen to English content only as much as I can. But again, it gets restricted to maybe half an hour or maximum an hour in an entire day. So again, there is a limitation, but something is always better than nothing. But I try to consume as much English as I can. But whenever I make any notes or anything, whenever I do any sort of writing for my own reference, for my thought clarity or anything, I do that in English only. Right. So I try to surround myself with as much English as possible, and this is the reason why I've been able to improve my English a little. And whenever I get chances, although I get very less chances, like maybe a couple of chances in a year, or maybe one or two more or less, so very 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 less chances of speaking in this language among a group of people, because the more we'll speak uh, in front of people in English language, that's a different ball game altogether. The confidence required is much higher than speaking in front of a camera, or speaking with ourselves, or speaking with just a friend, or maybe a couple of people only whom you already know very well, or who are basically kind of disciples of you, whom you are teaching something or guiding something. So speaking with them in English is a different thing, speaking with yourself in English is a different thing. But whenever you have to talk to people or address people, a group of people, who are already at a particular level in their respective lives, they already possess certain designations, certain respectful designations, that's where different sort of confidence is required. Whenever you have to get on the stage or a podium, and you have to give a speech or something in front of a group of people, that too in English, then it's a different game altogether, right? But these are the things that definitely enhances our confidence, and they makes it better. uh, right. And of course, a person gets hesitant. I also feel quite hesitant. Earlier I used to feel so hesitant, now I feel a bit lesser, because I've already gone through multiple experiences of that, but the frequency has been very less. I think if the frequency increases significantly, then of course, anybody can speak very well, anybody can speak better, the confidence gets skyrocketed. The more we speak, the more confidence we get, because the repetition thing comes into the picture. Because see, confidence comes to us when we do something repeatedly, right? If you already done something, let's say 50 times or 100 times, and you are asked to do that thing one more time, so like, yes, I can do it. Your brain will tell yourself that, your brain will tell you that, yeah, I can do it, I've already done it multiple times, so many times, so one more time is not a big deal for me. But if you have not done something even once, or maybe a couple of times only, so your confidence is very low. And it's a very normal thing, that's how our brain thinks. But the more we do of something, the more confident we get. With time, with each and every single repetition, it increases, and by the time, we have done many number of repetitions, we feel so confident. So repetition increases our confidence. The more repetitions we put into something, into the same thing, the more confident we get in doing that particular thing. Vocabulary, like the title says, fluent English is not about knowing more words. Exactly, you can definitely know more words. It's good to know more words, it's good to have a very good vocabulary, but it has very less to do with fluency, because fluency comes when we do this speaking practice. The more we speak, the more fluent we get, and the more fluent we get, then only we get the opportunity to include those words that we already know, that are already there in our vocabulary bank. Right. I hope you got the idea. I don't know how long this video has been. It's more than 12 minutes now. 12 minute 5 6 seconds to be precise. I think now I have covered this topic up to some good extent. I really hope you got the idea that fluency comes with only speaking practice. Vocabulary is something that enhances our language or our speaking ability, because we are able to use more words, we are able to understand more words, right? And we are able to use them appropriately, as per the context. uh, Thank you so much for watching the video. I really want you guys to share your experience and your understanding, what you got out of this video, whether this video was useful for you or not. And if you guys want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, where you can practice your speaking with me, of course I'll also get a chance. It will be a win-win situation, so I'm here welcoming you guys. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. You can click on the link. The same links are there, in both description and the pinned comment. So you can click on the link and you can register uh, your preferred time, and you can connect with me. We'll definitely have a good conversation, and I will be able to share whatever I can. If you ask, if it feels relevant to you, and I'm sure it will definitely be relevant to you. If you are in the learning process, if you are a beginner, or maybe towards that intermediate level or something. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.